Welcome back to Jeffro's Game Room. Today I have a few races to share with you guys. This race was from last week, the Daily Race A in Gran Turismo Sport, of course. And it is in the Peugeot 208. And it takes place at Alsace Village. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've heard people say Alsace. But either way, race is underway. We got a fairly decent start. Start with a little bit of traction control and see if we can get second place here. But we want to make sure we give Benelli there some room. We don't want to make enemies here. Weren't able to get the position, but we're still in the draft. We'll stay behind him and hopefully another opportunity comes up. Well, coming into this corner here, I find I brake a little later than a lot of people, and they also take a much wider line, but also unable to pass. We were 3 wide there for a moment. Now this corner here is very important to cut in and try to hit that apex. If you don't, you're going to end up going wide like our friend here, BHR Target, did, which caused him to lose quite a bit of momentum, and that's why I'm beside him. Also another tricky corner here. You kind of have to coast through the middle of the corner in order to get as much speed as you can through there. In this corner, I just kind of shift down a gear and let the engine do the braking. I find that is a pretty decent way to get around that corner. And then we got a major braking zone coming up here. And I braked a little late, and I actually didn't screw up there. I purposely hit the wall so that I wouldn't run into the back of BHR Target. And of course, I lost quite a bit of momentum doing so, and Josh Benelli is back up into second. This corner coming up, it's a downhill right-hander, and it is very hard to get right. There's a point where you kind of have to cut in and try to hit that apex. Did a pretty good job there. Pretty slow through here though. You can certainly go much faster. As you can see, BHR Target got a pretty good exit, so there's definitely improvements to be made there. Also, I find people are coming into this corner with a pretty wide line, and I find with this car you can take a pretty narrow line and still go pretty quick through that first corner. We do have some pressure from behind from Josh Benelli. This race was quite nice, aside from, you know, a little bit of door bumping. Everybody was quite well behaved. So our friend BHR Target here can't seem to get this corner right. He's miles away from the apex, but still able to keep it on the track and still able to maintain his momentum. And we do have Josh right beside us currently. He definitely wants that second place, and it looks like he's gonna get it, at least for now. In this corner, if you accelerate too early, you will find yourself to the outside of that track very quickly, and possibly off the track. So you got to be careful with your throttle, and make sure you're coming on the throttle at the right point and not too early. And once again, braking a little too late here, and almost went into the back of Josh. So we had to shift down to first gear and kind of avoid him. And as a result, we lose a lot of time and they pull away. So we'll be finishing in third for this race, but that's fine. Still a pretty good finish, and still gonna get points in regards to the rank. And right here, complete lapse in judgment, and forgot where the brake pedal was, so we smashed into the wall. But fortunately, GT Sport was kind enough to not give us a penalty. We did hit that wall quite hard. They have made some changes to the penalty system, so that's good. But on to the next race, and if I recall correctly, there was a lot more argy-bargy in this particular race. Coming into this first corner, we were concentrating on getting in front of Benelli, and turns out Calbert decided he was just going to completely yeet up the inside of me, push me into Josh Benelli, and Josh actually flashed his lights at me after that happened, which of course was not my fault. I mean, if I get hit into somebody, there's not much I can do. But we're going to return the favor. We're going to brake a little later than usual, and we're just going to bump into the side of his door. Push him a little wide. Not quite off the track, but let him know that we're not impressed with the moves that he's making. Kind of a douchey move. So we return the douchey move back. And as you may have noticed, we are racing with some of the same people here. And BHR Target still having difficulty with that corner. He can't quite get into that apex, but he's still getting around that corner pretty fast. So not much I can criticize there. And we braked a little too hard coming into this corner, and we slided a little bit. Slided. Perfect English. Now at this point, looks a lot like BHR is pulling away with the win here. But that may change on the second lap, so we'll wait and see. We do have pressure from behind from Josh there. But we're going to do our best to hold him off and hopefully catch up to BHR. He did make a slight mistake, and we are closer to the back of his car now. And if we can keep things smooth, we can probably be in contention for a win here. But unfortunately, we take that corner a little too wide. But it looks a lot like he's making similar mistakes. He's not really getting through there too fast either. And of course, still pressure from behind. Certainly encountered some good racers in this lobby. But unfortunately, that will change. Like I mentioned earlier, I find braking a little bit earlier than a lot of people in this corner, and I'm also taking a tighter line, so that allows me to catch up quite significantly to BHR Target here, and hopefully he can make a few more mistakes and we might have an opportunity for a win here. Now, he finally was able to cut into that apex. Unfortunately, he did that a little too early, and he went wide, out onto the grass, allowing us to catch up. And we do go for the move. There's a little bit of contact, not intentional. He should be paying attention to where I am, and if there's a gap, I'm going to take it. It's just the way she goes. Once again, we got a gap. I'm taking it. Now, you might call those slightly aggressive moves, but I wasn't ruining his race. A little bit of door bumping, in my opinion, is okay. We get a pretty bad run out of that corner. And coming up the hill, he is right on me. And then coming to the downhill, right-hander. I do get my braking point correct. I kind of was coming over to the middle of the track so I could cut into the apex, and he pushes me into the wall. And then I get pinched. And we lose 3 positions, and we drop back to 4th. I was very unhappy with this move that he made. Very, very douchey. I've done several races with this guy, and he's always been pretty clean with me. But as a result of that, we ended up in different lobbies because their SR dropped and prevented them from being match made with me because my SR didn't drop. So, on to the 3rd race, starting in 6th position this time. And we also have another Black Hole Racing team member, Joe Rader fan. I raced with him on many occasions, and most of the time it's good racing. We have had contact in the past, but those things are going to happen with racing. It is part of racing, and it's all about how you deal with it on the track and how you recover, I guess. Once again, coming into this corner, kind of feel like I'm braking later than a lot of people, and also taking a tighter line into the apex. Get some mild contact with BHR there. And once again, getting on pushed slightly wide by Joe Rader. But like I said, that was a minor contact. We're not going to let it bother us. But we still do have lots of pressure from behind. Joe Rader took his line a little too wide, and questionable track re-entry if you ask me. But either way, he's back on track. Getting a little slidey through this corner again. It can be very easy to slide through the middle of that corner if you're being too aggressive on the throttle or on the brake. But so far so good. We've made up 2 positions. Not bad at all. And hopefully we can get some more. And coming into this heavy braking zone for the hairpin, we're going to have a little game of ping pong apparently. And guess who's the ball? Yours truly. Either way, we do make a position up out of that. But my tires, I believe, were a little slidey from that contact. Kind of warmed up the tires and caused me to go a little wide. But we did get this corner right, which is good. So we got the position back. And the exit of that corner, so easy to hit that wall. So you got to be very careful with the throttle and make sure that you're not going to hit that wall, because that wall will, if it doesn't stop you, it will slow you down, that is for sure. So the remainder of this race was relatively uneventful, so we'll just go ahead and fast forward this part. The Brazilian in front, unfortunately, a little too far ahead to catch, but overall, a pretty good race. We made up 3 positions, got ourselves a podium, so I'm pretty happy with that. The previous race, of course, would have been nice to get the win, but unfortunately, oftentimes people don't change, you know? And unfortunately, there's a lot of dirty drivers in this game. Maybe it was a mistake on BHR Target's behalf. Regardless, it's very frustrating to have a win robbed away from you like that. Literally the last corner, getting pinched off against the wall like a turd. It sucks. Alright, on to the last race for this video. We're starting in second place. And I'm not familiar with that flag, to be very honest with you. But he had some misfortune, as you can see in the top corner there, on our second view. He got pushed quite wide and lost several positions. But we have inherited first place in the process, so hopefully we can pull away and take the win. Alright, well, the first lap was rather uneventful, so I just gone ahead and sped this up a little bit for you guys, so we're not here all day. But I was able to build up quite a lead, little over 1.5 seconds. But unfortunately, that'll end up short-lived because I'm gonna start throwing it away on the last few corners of the lap. Here went okay, maintain our lead. It's right here where we start to lose our lead. We clipped that wall and that slowed us down significantly, and that brings the lead down quite a bit to only not even 3/10. So we've got pressure coming from behind us, and we need to do our best to defend our position now. He got slightly better momentum out of the first corner, and that brings him alongside of us, but we're going to give him the Schumacher squeeze. It's basically just forcing him to take the wider line and the slower line. Try to brake as late as possible so we can stay in front of him, because I imagine he is also doing his best to brake as late as possible. Able to keep the position so far. As you can see from our second camera angle up in the corner, he is not letting up the pressure. Takes a much better line through there. I'm a little wide and on the grass, lose a lot of momentum, and he's able to almost make the pass on me. Fortunately, we keep the position, and we're just going to keep defending to the best of our ability. He had slightly better momentum through the corner, but fortunately he ended up bump drafting me, which kind of transferred his momentum over to me. And we're coming into the heavy braking hairpin, and I make a pretty fatal error, braking a little too late, and he does a beautiful undercut on me. And that's gonna be it for this race. Unfortunately, I'm unable to get the position back, and he's gonna take the win. I will say this one didn't bother me that much because he took the position cleanly. I am a little aggressive in the last corners here trying to get something, but have to back out because we don't want to get pinched against the wall again like we had with the other race. Okay, thank you guys for watching. That'll be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please do so. And have a great day, guys.